Hi there, myself Madhav Jha. I welcome you to CodeChef and let's have a look at this question.
The problem is modular mirrors. The problem difficulty is easy and there are no prerequisites. Let's have a read at the problem. You are given two integers n and m. You must construct an array A of length n satisfying all the following conditions. First condition being that all the elements in array A are greater than or equal to 0 and less than m. Next, there exists at least one index I such that element at that index in our array A is greater than 0. And finally, for every index I, AI has to be equal to AI minus 1 plus AI plus 1 modulus with m. So, given the inputs, we need to make this array and ensure these three conditions that all the values are between the range 0 to m, 0 included, m excluded, at least one of the elements has to be greater than 0, and finally, element at ai is actually ai minus 1 plus ai plus 1 modulus m. Now for the boundary elements, we can consider that they are 0, that is a0 will be 0 and a n plus 1 will also be 0. Now, if it is impossible to construct such array, we will print -1. Otherwise, we will print the valid answer. So for the input format, we have t test cases, and for each test case, we have a single line, and on that line, we'll have two space-separated integers n and m. As for the output, if a valid array exists, we will print n-spaced integers, that will be a1, a2, a3 till an. And if that is not the case and no such valid array can be found, then our answer would be -1. In case that there are multiple valid arrays, we can print any one of them and that will be an acceptable solution. As for the constraints, number of test cases will go from 1 to 10 raised to 5, value of n will go from 1 to 2 into 10 raised to 5, and value of m will go from 2 to 10 raised to 9. Let's see some sample inputs. So for the very first sample input, the value of n is equal to 5 and the value of m is 7. Let's see the output array and check whether it satisfies the condition. So the array in the output is 4, 4, 0, 3, 3. The first condition was that all the elements must be greater than or equal to 0, that is correct, and it should be less than m, that too is correct. So first condition is satisfied. The second condition was that at least one of the elements have to be greater than 0, that too is satisfied. As for the third condition, we need to check for each element whether this value is equal to the modulus of its previous and next element's sum. So if we check for the first element, the previous element is 0, the next element is 4. So 4 modulus 7 will be 4. This is correct. For the next element, again we have the same case. Again, 4 plus 0 is 4 and 4 modulus 7 is again 4. Next up for 0, the sum is 4 plus 3, 7. 7 modulus 7 is 0, and so on. If we check the other components or elements, it is a valid array. That's why this is a valid answer. Let's see how we can approach the solution. As we know that the current element is given as ai is equal to ai minus 1 plus ai plus 1, and we are doing a modulus of the elements. Now remember, all the elements have to be less than m. In that case, we can assume that all the elements are already modulus with m, and that will be correct because none of the elements are going to be greater than m. So now if we try to rearrange it, we can rearrange it like this. That is, ai of I plus 1 is nothing but ai minus 1. And if we write it in a further simplification, we can convert that ai is nothing but ai minus 1 plus ai minus 2. This is much more feasible for us to consume because now what we are looking at is, for current element, we are only concerned with the last two elements. So in that case, in our array, we know that the 0th element is already 0 and the n plus 1 element is also 0. So in this case, if we just fix the very first element, right, a1, then all the elements are only going to be dependent on the previous two. So just setting up the first element fixes everything else. So let's say if we make the first element as x, the first element is x, the next element will naturally be nothing but x minus 0 modulus with m. Since we know that all the elements are less than m, in this case x will also be the case, the second element will also become x. Next up, for the third element, x minus x is going to be 0. Therefore, this is also 0. Next up, we have 0 minus x. This becomes minus x. Again, we have minus x and 0. It again becomes minus x. Then it's become 0. Again, then we will have 0 and x and so on. So all in all, we can see that we have a pattern. The pattern being the 0th element is 0, not an issue. Then we have x, x, 0. Then we have minus x, and again a 0. Then again positive numbers, and we keep on doing so. So in this, now the only matter of choice is that for the length of our array, we need to make sure that the n plus 1 element is also 0. So let's say if our element, if you notice here, all the zeros are at the odd position, right? So if our n plus 1 is not divisible by 3, then our answer is directly negative 1, because in that case, the 0 will not land at n plus 1, and thus we will not be able to complete our array. Once this is done, we can simply move on with our solution. So first we check if n plus 1 is divisible by 3. If it is not, our answer is negative 1. If we satisfy this and move ahead, then we need to construct our array. So for our x, let's say we simply choose 1. If we choose 1, the next element is also going to be 1, then it's going to be 0, then it's negative 1. But we cannot print negative 1, right? It has to be greater than equal to 0. Let's notice a property about the modulus. So if we have a number m plus 1, it will directly go back to 0. So in a nature, it is cyclic. You go from 0, 1, 2, 3 till m, and the moment you step out to m plus 1, you again go back to 0. So in that fashion, we can say that minus 1 is same as m minus 1, right? Because in this case, x plus minus x gives us 0, and in this case, the first element, that is 1, and m minus 1 will give us m. That being the modulus with m will also give us 0. So we can consider this cyclic nature, and whenever we have a negative number, we can simply add m to it and then do a modulus. So in that fashion, let's take this example for us, where we have n as 5 and m as 7. So the 0th number is obviously 0, then we print 1, 1, 0, and now it's going to be negative 1. But we don't want negative 1, right? So we can simply print 6. Now in that case, if you see, let's validate this array. So this one is nothing but modulus of 1 minus 0, that is correct. This is modulus of, again, 1 minus 1, that becomes 0. This is modulus of 0 minus 1 plus 7, that becomes 6. Therefore, this is the case. And finally, this 6 is also 6 minus 0. So with this is also a valid solution. So to summarize, first we simply check the length of our array. If n plus 1 is divisible by 3, then we can move ahead, otherwise the answer is negative 1. If we have a go ahead to move, what we'll do is we'll simply print in this fashion. We'll choose the first element as 1 and then simply keep on building all the other elements with the formula, that is ai is equal to ai minus 1 plus ai minus 2 modulus of m. And we add a m here so that we can avoid the negative numbers. And with this, we'll have our solution. Let's see how we can implement the solution in C++. So for each test case, we call the function solve and we take the input of n and m. Then we put our check on n plus 1. If it is divisible by 3, we move ahead, otherwise we print negative 1. Then we start forming our array. The first element is 1, and then for each subsequent element, it is nothing but ai minus 1 minus ai minus 2 plus m and modulus m. We add this additional m so that we can avoid negative numbers. We keep on forming all the elements in the array, and finally we print the elements from the index 1 to n. And as you can see, I have AC in my C++ implementation. Let's see how we can implement this in Python. Again, for each test case, we call the function solve, take the input of n and m. If n plus 1 is not divisible by 3, we print negative 1. That is, it's not possible to form the array. Otherwise, we fix the first element as 1 and construct rest of the elements from the formula that we have seen in our approach. At the end, we print the array from the index 1 to n. And as you can see, I have AC in my C++ and Python implementation. So I hope you understood the problem, the approach, and how we can implement the solution. Have a very good day, and I'll see you in the next video.